Hey everybody, it's Nicole Kluba with Kluba Ceramics here. So I know I talked about it a while back. It's been a while since I've made a video. We've been super busy. We just had our grand opening this past Friday on the 25th. We were open Saturday and Sunday for the spring event here in Seagrove. So we had a really great turnout all weekend. So if you were able to stop by and say hello, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. We were glad a lot of people got to come and see the shop. So we are open Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 4 p.m. That's going to be our regular hours from here on out. And if anything changes, or if we're closed a certain day, it'll be updated on my social media. So be sure to check that out. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a tour, show you guys everything since everything's all set up and complete. Let me know what you guys think, and if you're in the area and want to stop by and say hello and check out some pottery, you're more than welcome to. We'd love to see you. So let's get started. All right, so starting off the tour, so we have our little sign and mailbox. So if you see our open flag out right there, then go ahead and stop in and say hello. That means we are open and ready for you guys to come stop in. So whenever you get here, you'll just pull right in and come on down to the parking area right down here. So this is our little parking area. We just got this done about a month ago, added some gravel and everything. As you can see, we've got our little sign, plenty of parking for you guys. Then we have our two greeters over here. So this is Roxy and Liza. So they are here to greet everybody as you come up. They love seeing all the people. So we have our little sign. They will jump on you. They get excited, but as you can see, Liza's sitting for us. So she's always welcoming everybody, and so is Roxy. But here we have our little walkway down to the shop. We have our ducks and chickens and guineas all free ranging. We got the two dogs. So while you're here, you are most likely to see some birds. I don't see any back here right now. They must all be over there, probably swimming in the nice weather. So we have our little flower bed we put together. Of course, I had to get a support your local pot dealer flag made. So this is my shop. So on the left right here, that is the gallery. That's where you'll enter to shop for some pottery and all that. But on the right is my workshop. It is an absolute mess right now. I haven't had time to clean it up, but here's a quick overview of the workshop. Got lots of molds. I was turning on the wheel earlier. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started with a tour of the gallery. So, come on in. I'm gonna just do a quick pan of the whole room. I have some empty spots from the event this last weekend. I gotta get to making some more stuff to fill it back up. All right, so just to get started with the tour, I'll start off by showing you the pottery. So my first little section right here is some slip casted work. I do a lot of slip casting. That's kind of like my hobby pottery. So that's what I have. I have some vases, some frogs, scrubby holders, some more vases. Also, if you guys want to know the glaze combination to anything in here, comment down below which one and I will give it to you guys. I just don't want to take up a lot of time going through all of them. I know I have a lot in here. So then we have some trinket dishes, some pie plates, some little dishes down there, egg plates, more pie plates. And then we get to my favorite, which is my sgraffito work. This whole back wall is pretty much all sgraffito. Have some solid black and white mugs down there. So yeah, and then we move on to this wall, which is more mugs. Sorry, I just noticed another empty spot right there. It needs to be filled in. Lots of different colors of mugs. Then we have some spoon rest. Didn't do a lot of color options this time around. I was in a hurry trying to get some done last minute before the opening, and I had some blue Dippin' Glaze left over, so I went ahead and finished up that bucket. So yeah, and then here is my favorite part of the gallery. This is my family history section. So starting off, so you guys can pause if you want to read that. But yeah, so I'm a 5th generation potter here in Seagrove, actually right here on this road where my shop is located. My grandpa, he used to dig up clay for all the local potters and would sell it. That is what most of this is. This is some of the blue clay that came from the ground right here on Pleasant Hill Road where my shop is located, where all of my family has done pottery. That's what it looks like when you dig it up. That's what it looks like after going through the hammer mill, which is the machine that my grandfather used. And then that is what it looks like when it's ready to turn with and create some pottery. Here are some photos of that. This is the old chicken house where my grandfather used to sell clay out of and process it. It's actually still standing. It's actually it's down the street from here. Then that's the bags of clay he used to sell. He used to put them in 50-pound feed bags. And that is the hammer mill that grinded up the clay. And there's a picture of my grandpa working with the hammer mill processing that clay. So, and then you come over here. So I have this Jugtown pottery book. So the reason I have this book in here is it actually mentions my great-great-grandfather, Stephen Richardson. So of course I had to put that in here, and I marked the pages on it. So if anybody comes in and wants to know some more history, they have that to be able to look at it and read some more history. Then I just have the Seagrove area book by Dorothy and Walter Ullman. Has some really great information in there. That book also mentions a bunch of my ancestors, so that's another cool book to have in here. Here is a couple more little books. These come from the Southern Folk Pottery Collectors Society down in Bennett, which isn't too far from here. They auction off a lot of pottery, and both of those books mention my ancestors where they had auctioned off some of their pottery, so stuck those in here as well. So here is, sorry you guys can see me in the reflection, but here is a picture of my great-great-grandfather Stephen Richardson's churn, and this is actually located at the North Carolina Pottery Center here in Seagrove. And this is actually one of the only known pieces of pottery signed by him. I've been looking for about the last 2 years looking for some pottery by my ancestors and haven't had any luck, but I did locate this piece at the Pottery Center, which is really cool. And you can't really see it very well, but he did sign that piece in script. It's very neat. And this was him. That is my great-great-grandfather, Stephen Richardson. So he had a shop, and he did his pottery right here on this road as well. And that was back in the 1860s, or the 1800s, early 1900s. Then his son Wendell, which is my great-great-grandpa, this is a jug that he made. So, and he made this jug sometime in the 1920s is what we are guessing. So a family member of mine actually owns this jug. So I'm hoping that I can find me some pieces floating around out there somewhere to be able to add to my collection. But of course I had to get a picture up out here. So then we have my little display area. Have some family pictures over the years. My grandpa Bobby, have one of my grandma. That is my grandpa Bobby, and then my uncle Danny, who does pottery here in Seagrove as well. And then we move on down here. So these are of my great-grandfather Wendell, who did pottery. And then this is where my great-great-grandfather Stephen, his churn that is pictured, that I just showed you, that is a clip out of that book where it was auctioned off quite a few years ago. So there is some really cool information on him if you'd like to pause and read. And then here is another clip that I pulled out. My great-grandpa Wendell, where one of his pieces was auctioned off. He used to work at Ullman Pottery back in the 20s. And this piece right here is actually a stamped piece of Ullman Pottery that is, from the look of the glaze and everything and the clay, it's estimated that it was made around the 1920s whenever my great-grandfather Wendell worked there. So it is unknown if he actually made that piece or not, but I figured it was a good one to add to the collection since it was made around the time he was working there. Moving on down here, this is my Uncle Danny Richardson and his wife Susan Richardson. They are still alive and making pottery. They're here in Seagrove as well. They used to work out of my grandpa's old tobacco barn right here on this road selling pottery. That's where they started off at. So there is some of their old work from the 90s. There is a newspaper clip from quite a while ago if you guys want to pause and read. Then the photo on the left is them selling pottery at the North Carolina Zoo in September 1992. So pretty neat stuff. Moving on to this bottom shelf. This is actually pottery that I made when I worked at a local pottery shop, Kegel Road, back in high school. I used to paint some pottery for them part-time. So that is some pieces I made while I was there. There's some of my first graffito pieces from a few years ago. So the one on the right is hand-built, and then the one on the left is a slip-casted mug. And this is my Uncle Randy and a mug that he had made. He was the one that owned this property before me. So, and he did pottery as a hobby, but he owned this property and he got a lot of work done here, helped us out a lot whenever we moved here. So, included him in here. And this is a plate that was given to one of my family members by the church that is on this road. It's the Pleasant Hill Methodist Church, and it's at the end of the road. A lot of my family has donated land way back in the day for the church, the cemetery, and everything. So I figured that was a pretty cool piece of history to be able to include. And the road used to be Route 1 Seagrove. So I thought that was pretty neat. It has that on the plate. The book that I have up there, Seagrove area, it talks about how my ancestor, Stephen Richardson right there, how he had donated land and he really was involved in the church. And then how some more of my ancestors over the years had donated some land and been involved. So yeah, that is pretty much everything, other than I got my little checkout stand here. So of course we've got business cards. We've got my stickers that are very popular. Everybody seems to love the stickers. Kind of have to cover that up. Have my email list, people to sign up. So yeah, that is it. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a quick tour, let you guys see what I've been working on so hard these last few months while I haven't really been able to post or anything. We've really been trying to get this all done before the event this past weekend. We were really cutting it close, trying to get finished, so we really had to dedicate all of our time to that. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for all the support. I know it's been a while since I posted, but thank you so much. Be sure to go follow me on my social media for updates, recent updates. I'm a lot more active on there than I am on here, so be sure to go check that out. Also, sorry if you hear the guineas. They are right there making a bunch of noise. But if you're in North Carolina or in the Seagrove area, I would love for you guys to stop by, say hello. And yeah, we are, like I said, we're open Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 4. So feel free to stop on in. We really appreciate it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you aren't already. And we will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.